To people that are not watching and listening, he is smoking a very beautiful cigar.
The biggest cigar I've ever seen in my
Pretty
life.
big. Is that a Cuban?
It is.
Oh, it's a Cuban cigar.
One of my boys bought it for me after I left the deal, and he called me Alexander the Great. And I said, you're damn right, but...
This is TMZ's Inside the Ring.
Welcome to TMZ's Inside the Ring. I'm Branson, Quirke.
I'm Roger Corral.
And today is an apology tour.
We're on the apology tour.
It's apology tour day because we owe this guy a massive apology. EC3 is coming on the show, and we actually had him on a couple months ago.
It was a great interview.
And it was a really good interview. I think it was over an hour.
Yeah, dude.
And we talked about so much. We
Yeah.
talked about his career and the best moments. But then, you know, circumstances changed. We waited too long to put the interview out. So by the time we were ready to release it, everything was old that we were talking about. I think it was like Raw in October, September.
Yeah, it was a while back.
September. So now that we're off the heels of this massive 2025, we've got him in, and we're going to ask him about something that he did recently.
Yeah.
He left NWA.
Fresh start.
He was a champion and a big figure at. He's former WWE, former TNA champion. Yeah. He's had a massive career, and we want to know what's next.
Yeah.
EC3, how you doing today? Welcome back.
I am well. I don't lump you with that deranged wrestling media, though, guys. But
that's kind of
looking forward to my exit interview with Richard Holiday's friend Dick Vacation, I think his name is.
Oh, he's a dick.
Interesting comment. He's such a dick. And you don't. No apologies necessary. Circumstances dictated. We had a very long form discussion. It was completely eloquent. It was refined. It was divine. But then you guys got some big news and some big moves made where it kind of went to the wayside. But I believe my holistic journeyman, his name is Michael Hernandez. We call him Big Mike, or we call him Sovereign Mike, told me this once before he took me on a vision quest and gave me this cup and put frog venom in my body. But he said, there are no coincidences. So what was meant to be is to be. And here we are to be who we are to be. Okay.
I like that.
This was meant to be, man.
I need to be reminded of that all the time, that there are no coincidences. I always say, what's the other saying that people say? Everything happens for a reason.
For a reason.
Right,
well,
right.
What are your thoughts on that saying? I have a theory.
Well, if you must know, I am a Christian. So
good. Okay.
So the way I believe is that, you know, it's God's plan. So that's what I believe. I'm not going to ask you guys what you believe, but
that's a good Drake song.
Feel free.
Yeah.
Drake's sweet. I would think, because my hesitancy, regardless of being Catholic, was always, if everything happens to a reason, explain every horrible thing.
Right.
You know, childhood poverty, starving kids, war, explain it.
I can explain it.
Ironically, born again Christian told me this, who's named Vince Russo. The left field of eloquence and theology, said everything happens for a reason, and the reason is to bring you closer to God. And then I went, well, that's a pretty broad definition, but it does kind of encompass horrible things would happen, so people do become closer to God. I mean, it's a long form thing, but that made me give it some thought and some merit. So. Yeah.
Right. I mean, in the Christian belief, when people ask that, that's always the thing. Yeah. So why do these bad things happen? Why does God let people die and this and that every day? But the understanding is that this is becoming.
I was not prepared for this at all.
I mean, it's interesting. No, we are in a fallen world. We're in a very sinful world, and without sin, then what is there? You know, there is no free will. There's no free will. And I will end it on that. I will end it on that.
I was going to get into Paradise Lost quotes and Lucifer, but...
Oh, nice.
We're here to talk wrestling, right? So
right.
whatever.
Well, I mean, are we here to talk wrestling? I mean, we're here to talk to you.
So.
We're here to talk to you.
Wait, speaking about this, would you ever implement that into your character? I feel like, it's such a big part of your life. Branson's talking about this. You know, it matters a lot to people's lives. Is this something you would ever implement?
As far as theology, like you don't want to play religion, you don't want to play politics, and you don't want to play, what's the other one? I don't know, but those two definitely.
Religion,
because it's just
and money.
Yeah, it's hard to find. If you're divisive on an issue, there's no middle ground, and it's hard to find sort of like what we do with wrestling is entertainment, engagement, you know, satire in an extent that there's no like fun there's no room for fun if you firmly state these things. But I think with anything you feel, my whole basis of like what characters should be in wrestling and what I think is missing from wrestling, and what I talked about in the final with the John Cena thing, but this is because he taught me this, was that people lack authenticity as their characters. And I'm not saying be authentic where I'm going to thump the Bible and curse you if you don't accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't even believe that. But you can have little sort of bits of things that motivate you or truly inspire you. How do you take them, twist them, put them into the realm of what we are doing, which, you know, there's a lot of humor in wrestling, but there's also like you want to be suspending disbelief. You want to be taken away. You want to be on an emotional journey. And I think we miss out on that a lot because we do kind of do too much humor. But at the same time, men and women in their underwear play fighting, sometimes is that the right form for all these things? I think when you develop a voice and a presence, be true to who you are, but also know what people want to hear and see, and kind of find if your true belief is to do something of such a nature. I don't know if this is the platform for it, but you have created yourself a platform with it that you can do that to the extent you want to. I just don't see it within this wrestling bubble. Yeah.
I see you. I mean, Vince tried though, you know, when he brought out God.
He defeated God.
He defeated God in the match. So that's as far as we're gonna get in terms of combining religion and wrestling.
It's as holy as we got.
I just watched that clip. I can't believe that he did that.
I don't think we could replicate that again.
You do some of those things too. When we were watching them live, it was just like bullshit, haha, kind of funny.
Yeah.
But us, and then you see it like in hindsight, 10, 15, 20 years later, like the Undertaker's symbol. I'm like, oh my God, this is on television.
It was a wild time, but it was entertaining. Well, you spoke of John Cena. Now we're in this moment now, a month out. It's been what?
Post-Cena.
It's been a month post-Cena. Now, you're probably going to be the last person that we talk to about this because we're exiting the John Cena stratosphere now.
Yeah.
But since we spoke about John Cena at length in our never before and never ever will be seen interview that we did before this, I want to ask you how you felt about the match. Did you watch the final night?
Yeah, we were filming NWA TV that day, and so afterwards, I invited some of my core boys up to the palatial estates of the Hilton that we were staying at. Like, get in my room. We're gonna get some food. We're gonna get some ice cold waters.
The Garden Inn.
Yeah. Actually, it was a Marriott. I digress.
Nice. Marriott's nice. I was just staying at the Marriott. Yeah.
I gathered up the crew that I kind of brought into the NWA, and these guys I'm kind of guiding, my little proteges, but they're all huge. And, you know, to watch it, but then we had that time and that lapse because the show was still going on. We didn't want to put it on. And then after the show is over, they don't let it happen for like another hour. So we had about an hour to kill. And then I just started like putting up old clips and like telling stories that I heard about these things and that. So that was really cool. But as far as the final match, sat down, watched it with the boys, and it's rarely can you have the perfect ending, and even the closest things to like the most perfect television shows like a Breaking Bad or a Game of Thrones, people can find flaws in the ending. But I think he was able to tell the story he wanted to tell. It left people talking, which is another one of his big things. Is like you're always, seeking attention. That is kind of the job.
Yeah.
I could see the art in it, and art and wrestling sometimes mix, and sometimes you sound like a pretentious asshole when you say it. But at the end of the day, storytelling, that is what we do. And I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the fans' reactions because those you cannot fake. That's one thing. Another John lesson I got was like, I don't care if they cheer and I don't care if they boo. I just care if they're indifferent. And, you know, no one was indifferent during the match. No one was indifferent after that match. And people continued to talk about it. So I really did enjoy it. And I think we are in that Post-Cena era. I guess you can call it AJ after John.
Yeah.
But what a ride. So
I was actually there in person, and I've never felt an experience like that before.
Wow.
Actually sitting in that room, you could feel it when the actual tap happened.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted it to happen. We talked to Rob Van Dam about this too. He said that he wanted to go on for another 15, 20 minutes just because he didn't want to see John Cena retire. But yeah, it to me, just like you said, it felt artistic. That picture alone of him in the chokehold,
Such a classic.
that is gonna be that's the painting in itself of the art of that match.
the thing I noticed too is like, I didn't see it right away. And then immediate speculation. I try not to read others' opinions till I form my own. But the next day, hopping onto Instagram and all the reels, and like there was like just so many reels, and it wasn't like Wrestling Fans 613. It's like just a bunch of like normal human accounts putting reels up like my childhood's officially ended, or all these things, and like he promised he'd never give up, and like people interpreting it in the way that I guess it was meant to be interpreted, unless it wasn't. And then they just were like, oh, people are buying this, let's go with it. Cool. But when I saw the amount of feedback from humans outside the bubble, I was like, all right, mission accomplished. And then it was cool to see a lot of the good he did, or he still does, in these reels, and like the charitable things,
Right.
Make-A-Wish, all these videos. And you were in that building that day. That was cool. I was in that final video briefly, so I made it too.
Oh,
I'm
you
real
were
pumped.
in the final video. I was so high up in the press box I couldn't see. But that's amazing. What moment was that?
He's rapping with a bunch of dudes at the gym. He's
That's
giving a
cool.
little speech-a-roo, and then, you know, there's this curly-haired asshole named Derek standing there going, I get it,
That's
John.
awesome.
Take me with you. But
I love
I
that.
talked to him about it too, and I don't want to be like, hey, man, what'd you think? How was your thing? I just sort of like commended him on a wild ride and enjoyed the work. And there's a thing in wrestling you say, like, you do something really significant, it's time to end it, or you do something completely insignificant, it's over before it started. It's this term, well, you had a good run. So it was just like, you had a good run, kid. And, thanks, man. So
Yeah.
Right.
What
I
are
think
your
he liked it though. So
What are your thoughts on Gunther being the person that actually retired John Cena?
I think
And
go ahead.
and how high do you put that stock in Gunther moving forward?
I mean, he's got a kill list now, Goldberg and Cena. That's cool. I definitely think he is one of the, if not the right choice, because he's an incredible talent and he's built like a real supervillain, and he works like a real supervillain, and he's legitimate and he's threatening, and he's not trying to be liked. He doesn't seek, you know, praise and adulation. He seeks destruction and dominance. And I think wrestling really needs a guy that kind of have that kind of a monster heel with that resume. And what's hard about being in the business and on television for so long is like eventually things have to change. And so he had an extreme high rise with a lot of like big wins, championships, dominance reigns, undefeated streaks, where sometimes you have to do the favor to give it to the babyface, especially if you're a heel, where maybe there was I don't want to say a step back in his work, but a step back in presentation, to where now like that instantly realigns him and enlightens him and shoots him to the moon. I think he's a guy that's going to be there for a very long time. Incredible threat, great worker, great wrestler, fairly good man. I think he's the right choice.
Do you agree that it's good heat that Gunther is experiencing right now?
Yeah, I don't believe in bad heat. Are they making noise, really?
Right.
Then, yeah.
Some people, like, I forgot who it is. Was it Kevin Nash that said this?
I don't remember.
I forgot who said this, but I believe it was Kevin Nash. If it's wrong, I'm sorry, Kevin Nash. But, no, it was Kevin Nash. It definitely was. He said that for whatever reason, this is not good heat that Gunther is experiencing, and that this is people upset with the product in itself. Now, I've seen Gunther every Monday on Raw show up, and his reaction is wild, and I think it's great. What do you think?
Kevin Nash is a far better business mind than me, and I think he's watching with a keener eye week to week, but I believe it wouldn't be if fans are reacting wild, and then even if initially it came off as, quote, wrong heat, which maybe it is, fans, dissuaded with the product, making their voices heard, things of that nature. Fan reactions are like dopamine. They are addictive and they will follow. And then I think they will be reignited as legitimate. So people will truly, routinely be engaged and encouraged to react now that they've seen the reactions. It's kind of like how you start a what chant or how you start a yes chant. That repetition of fan involvement eventually makes something mean something. So whether it was wrong then, perhaps, I don't think going forward, if it's continuing, it can be classified as wrong.
It's true. I remember when Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker. We had similar sentiments where people are like, this isn't right. And then you're right. Eventually it becomes reality where you're like, all right, this is where we're going.
When I asked Gunther about the comparison, he told me to suck it up.
See, he's the perfect guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Very short, very sweet. The Royal Rumble is coming up. I don't know if you're watching the product weekly, but is there any one that you have in mind that you'd love to see win the Royal Rumble and have their WrestleMania moment?
Well, I'm unemployed now, so I should be saying, I'm watching the product every week. I love every second of it. It's great. They're all doing an amazing job. I'm trying to
Great answer.
You just got to think that Rumble spot is usually best reserved for either a nostalgia act or who's next.
Well, then how about you answer that? Do you think it should be a nostalgia act or a who's next this year?
I don't really see a nostalgia act that could fit the bill. Like if last year's Cena won the Royal Rumble and didn't have the Elimination Chamber play in, I think that would have been okay.
Yeah.
I don't see that kind of name that would make that okay now when the business desperately needs the future to like get to a certain level. And it's been very hard to do that organically. Sort of like, I don't know, you think Braun Breaker is kind of the guy, right? So
yeah, he seems to be the one that everyone.
Yeah,
I'm starting to, since everyone is so on him, I'm starting to.
You're trying to fall off of it.
I'm starting to draw. I don't like mainstream things. I'm a wrestling hipster.
Like, who would be a dark horse for that?
Dark horse, Austin Theory.
I think Dominic and Austin Theory would be.
Austin Theory would piss off a lot of people, but I think he deserves it.
He's had an interesting ride, so
he looks like a prisoner.
Can it carry over to? I think the one thing from their business perspective is like, put this on a poster in front of millions of people that don't know anything of what we're doing, but just know the name and the brand. Does that poster sell them to go, that looks intriguing? Or does it make them go, like a Major League, who are these effing guys? So right. Sometimes playing into that, the dark horses, I'm not saying internet favorites, but kind of the people that we as fans, diehard, see working hard and going through the system and going through the ups and downs, the suffering and the salvage and the relaunches and the takeaways and all the stuff we all go through, like get their just desserts, get their reward. Does the mainstream see that? And if they do, can they sell it? So,
well, I want to ask you this. As a legendary heel, EC3, right now, the biggest heel in WWE to me, I mean, other than Gunther, on the women's side is Becky Lynch. And she's killing it right now. She's always in character, no matter where you find her, no matter what interview she's on, she refuses to go beyond that. beyond that. What do you think of Becky Lynch's heel run right now?
I think you summed it up pretty sweetly. Refusing to break that character, or is that character such a reality and so authentic that it can't be broken because that is who she is? And what misses in wrestling a lot is the suspension of disbelief. Like, are we seeing this real person? Are they a wrestler? Are they playing wrestler? Are they trying to act as something? But if it's authentic and if the fans are reacting, then it's going to be awesome. And then if they, one last Cena line, like, I'll get off his jock after this, maybe.
Maybe.
We will. We'll get off of it.
I'll get a spot on Peacemaker season 3.
That'd be good.
It would be sick. One thing he would say would be, if you believe, they believe, meaning the fans. So presenting that in all of its authentic glory to not only just what is happening with the red light and the big cameras in the big arena, but what is happening on the interviews. I don't want to say on the streets, but in that sense, yeah, it works. If you like it, or if you're thinking about it, it means it's working. Yeah. So if she's doing it that well, again, I only see bits and pieces, but yeah. And then authentic, I'm sure she can be like that. So that's cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'll admit it. I'm a dick too. So.
You mentioned being a free agent. I wanted to ask about that. You recently announced your departure from NWA. So I wanted to ask why and what's next. You know, one of your latest Insta story posts, you seem to be clamoring for your time back in TNA. I wanted to know more on that, and is there the potential that you might return to TNA?
I don't chase 3-letter brands, man. I chase moments. There's my token thing. For NWA, it's like my time, it kind of ran its course. Grateful for it, proud of what I did, proud of the guys I was able to bring in. But like, I don't know, I operate best in environments where I see the standards and how I want the product to be portrayed. And I'm a big culture guy, and I don't think I can do anything to add to that culture anymore. So definitely had a good run. I was a champion for over a year, 80 title defenses. I was able to defend the championship in my hometown against one of my favorite opponents, and Tom Latimer. I retired Tyrus, and you're welcome for that.
Hey, I love Tyrus. I'm upset about that. I'm still upset about that.
Oh, he's doing quite well.
Yeah, he's fine.
I interviewed him like a couple weeks after I spoke with you a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I like him. I like Tyrus.
He's hilarious. And, you don't want to get into politics, but he's found his niche, and he is doing his niche extremely well.
Oh, is he in politics? I'm kidding.
We missed that part completely.
I'm just kidding.
I guess his whole new book is, I read his second one and his first, and I'm kind of mad he beat me to the bestsellers list, but I digress. So yeah, I'm a big standards guy, big culture guy, and I've done what I could there. So I'm also at a point where I got a couple years left where I'm going to be at a super high level, and I didn't trust telling my story there. So that story kind of goes back to what we started with yesterday when I dropped this sick ass video. This is the top 1% returning. What I find humorous about wrestling is like everybody clamors and begs for new things. And when you give them new things, unless some high-end internet sleuth is giving them their opinions, they will kind of dissuade against it or degrade it. So, but what they do love is nostalgia.
We love nostalgia.
So, yes.
Hey, like, it was time. There was actually a few offers to do this again elsewhere, but it certainly wasn't the time. But, oh God, let me quote John Cena, the time is now, I guess, to bring the top 1% in that idea back. But as I state in the video, is this a nostalgia run or is it something worse? So time to tell. Time will tell. It does definitely hint at returns to places. But I can say with confidence in this moment, I am waiting to see what happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, but if they have a set of balls on them, they would know what to do.
Right. I mean, especially with this new AMC deal that's starting next Thursday, I got to ask you about this. Now, there's a lot of chatter that with this new AMC deal, TNA might take that rightful number 2 spot that AEW is holding right now.
Ooh.
Do you think that's a possibility?
How do you rank the spots? Like, so that was curious.
You rank the spots by ratings, typically.
Okay, by like numerical. That doesn't include house or buildings run. Are we including international? I think a lot of times these metrics can get swayed into the opinion people want to make. Like, oh, well, they had a lower number, but the engagement was up. And like, whatever. I don't know how to judge it either. You judge it by do people enjoy it or not is really the only thing I can think of. But there is definitely a battle to be fought. And I think it is good for both companies because you are better when you're being chased or you're better when you're defending your house. So that's cool. And then I think what is really cool about that is it forces creative to think differently or outside the box or outside the bubble. Or I think it's whoever plays it safe and plays it as is, everything's fine, will lose. And I think whoever has the gumption and the courage to push forward new things, new people, take risks, sometimes they will not pay off. But, you know, failure is not final. Failure is a lesson we all need to learn to find who we are.
Right, right. Is there anybody, and I'm just going to pick these 2 promotions, not for any particular reason, but is there anybody in WWE, NXT, TNA that you can think of, because you said you're going to be at a high level the next couple years still physically. Is there anybody that you feel you need to take on?
Yeah, everybody that's bootleg cosplayed EC3 for the past 5 to 10 years.
Oh. Can you give us an example of one person who is
I don't know, anybody who uses initials for their name. Like what kind of
I can think of a few people.
Stuff of that nature. 5. I mean, we talked about Holiday too. I mean, he's culprit. Like Carson Drake, the kid I built into the NWA, who's going to be a top guy there. He's welcome. I'm actually, when the top 1% returns, we're going to do it at Exodus Pro, which is my little promotion here in Cleveland, and we'll probably live stream it, but I'll bring it back there and I'll put myself in the ring so Carson can meet his maker. But I think any overtly grinning, smug, strong-jawed, dickish version of me would be a good place to start. So if anybody has a suit, has a scarf, has a sweater vest, has slacks, has Oxford shoes on, wears prescription glasses, though they don't have a prescription, anybody who follows them into that sort of motif, I think would be...
I can think of the person right now. Everything you just listed. Kyle Fletcher.
Didn't you shape? Okay.
Great example. You not agree with me?
God. No, I can see it. That's funny.
Oh, if AEW fan, like if they had any courage, throw me in the mix and just watch the place explode. Like really.
Oh my gosh, we need that.
Let's stop 15, 20 minute, 50-50 match. Come on. Give me a 5-minute get over with a local and I'll have that place throwing piss at me.
Wow.
I love that. I wanted to ask your opinion on this. We were recently talking to Chelsea Green about Unreal, and WWE is doing a season 2 on it where we're pulling back the curtain and we're seeing wrestlers live behind the curtain. We're seeing them in the locker room. I wanted to know your take on that. Like, are you protective over the industry in that way? Do you like fans peeking in and seeing what you guys are up to?
I think there is a way to do it. I think I'm into it being able to continue and tell the stories that you're trying to tell. But I think if it's a total, I don't want to disregard of kayfabe, it loses the point and suspends disbelief. So in theory, it all goes back to if I believe in authenticity of who you are and who you're portraying and what you're doing, when you have the, Unreal kind of shows, they're not a far cry from who you are and what you're doing. So Chelsea's great. She's awesome. The Hot Mess Express, like when she came into TNA originally, huge potential. She's thriving. She's killing it. She's saddled with a loser husband, but whatever. He's killing it.
I agree. No, I'm kidding.
You must remember, he had an epic match against Matt Cardona once. So I think, yeah.
The ultimate match of death. I love Cardona. And I'm proud of him. Well, like that matters. I'm happy for him too, to be able to kind of the run he had and the, again, authenticity he lived the past couple of years and the hustle to go. And I bet his schedule's a lot easier now with the WWE. And I bet, the money is great. So, and he deserves it. I think he's done so much for so many people, and especially proof to believing in yourself and investing in yourself, that if he's not somewhat sort of like glorified for who he is, like we missed out on a great lesson for the future generations of wrestling. But back to Chelsea, because she's hot. She's authentically who she is in the unreal. I think it's good. But I think if it's like, I'm a dirty, evil, mean person on screen and we go home and it's, working at a soup kitchen and all the nice things, like, because heels are naturally better people than baby faces. Sidebar.
Right.
But if you totally disconnect it, I don't love it unless I'm on it and being paid by them. Then I think it's the best stuff ever.
I love that.
All of this, everything I've heard, everything I've seen, this guy's lighting up a cigar right now. Everything I'm seeing right now is giving Hollywood. I feel like EC3 is going Hollywood. Is that a possibility? Hollywood. Your name, Ethan Carter, has to be the most Hollywood name I have ever heard. I would love to see you on the screen. Do you think that's a possibility in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I need an agent. Is anybody watching? As an actual?
We are in Los Angeles. There's plenty.
I'm bad at communicating for like things I want to do, but yeah, I'd be awesome on screen. Hell, the videos I just shot with Danny here in Cleveland, like today I texted her, I'm like, we should write a movie and make it, because she does incredible work. She's just a wrestling fan who taught herself video editing and filming and lighting and all these things. And what we put out today and what we'll put out in the future is like, dude, it's better trailer than The Shining with an even more nauseating ending. So that is cool. But I would definitely have interest. I have no preconceived notions because I hated wrestlers who would be like, I want future endeavors. I'm going to go be an actor because it's easy and I can just waltz in because I have 100,000 followers on Twitter. And no, it's a whole nother grind and it's a whole nother ordeal. And if wrestlers were good actors, we get paid more money to act. Trust me. So I do have interest. I'm very creative. I can light up a screen, but I'm not going to be Tom Hardy, Well, maybe.
Don't say that.
I'm not gonna be Christian Bale or Daniel Day-Lewis. Well, I'm gonna try to be them, but like I'd be good bad guy number 2 with like a couple of zinger lines, or like when Cody was in the Naked Gun.
Yeah, that was. I did not expect that, dude.
I went, oh my god, and then he killed it, and I'm like, all right, well done, man, dude.
And then there's actors turned wrestlers. Paul Walter Hauser.
That's true.
The complete opposite, where he says that he enjoys wrestling more than he does acting. I mean, that's so cool.
Hold on, the Yellowstone guy's wrestling?
Yeah, Paul Walter Hauser from Cobra Kai, The Naked Gun.
Oh,
what's another one he was in? Golden Globe winning. Blackbird?
I forget. Blackbird. Yeah, he got a Golden Globe for that, actually.
I mean, the guy, he's a big actor. You'd recognize him if you saw him. But we had him on, and he told us that
I'm thinking of Cole Hauser. I know who you're talking about now. My fault.
Paul, yes, right. But it's really cool to see they're on the reverse side. But I could see
because I think what actors would love about wrestling is it's not hurry up and wait, and it's not one line, switch an angle. Like, you are ingrained in the performance from the second you walk out until the second you leave. Like, even when the cut happens, you still are in it. I think wrestling is more like being a rock star than it is being a actor sometimes. Because once you ride that high too, the like huge crash of dopamine you have post shows, talked about in the final thing, but like, the slog, we call it, or the airport, or the hotel, the cold room, eating barehanded a piece of chicken alone in a Marriott. You wish. No, you're in a Days Inn just because you suck. Yeah, I think actors would really enjoy wrestling in that sense because you get to perform consistently for a duration.
I think it's the beginning of something special. It's going to happen more and more. Well, Ethan, EC3, I got to say, you're probably one of the most unique people, and I'm saying this in a very positive way. Like, you said you can't be a Tom Hardy. I disagree. I think that you have something very special in that you should pursue that. Like, absolutely seriously.
Well, you work for TMZ. Get me an agent.
We'll have a phone call. We'll have a phone call. I know some people. But thank you for coming on and coming back on. And we're so sorry we couldn't put out the previous interview. But this was a very special interview. We got to talk about as much as we can. And I'm really excited to see where you end up.
I know, I'm excited. He says he's not seeking any 3-letter brands, but I'm hoping to see him somewhere soon.
Maybe a 4-letter
I'm not
brand.
seeking. I'm not going out. Like, I'm not seeking as much as I'm waiting to see what comes. What really is important to me about wrestling and what I learned, especially in the past couple of years, is like alignment and how to be aligned with what is being created and what is being portrayed. And it's a lot more than just what you do as an individual in the ring. Like, I've had years of experience and a shit ton of war wounds and damn near nightmares staying alive in this business. But passing that forward, and like what I do with the team at Exodus, what I tried to do in the NWA locker room, or wherever I go, I'm gonna be on top until somebody can kick my ass. I mean, one day that will happen, but not in the next, year or two. Right. So till then, watch me. I will lead you. I will guide you. But in sincerity, like, what we do in this business is we try to make the places that we go better. And wherever I go next, it's going to be a better place when I get there and when I leave.
Well said.
I love that.
Well said. Last question, really quick. To people that are not watching and listening, he is smoking a very beautiful cigar.
The biggest cigar I've ever seen in my life.
Pretty big. Is that a Cuban?
It is.
Oh, it's a Cuban cigar.
One of my boys bought it for me after I left the deal, and he called me Alexander the Great. And I said, you're damn right. But
I was going to say, how did you get that Cuban? Because those things are hard to get hands on.
Especially right now.
Well, actually, we found a place. We found a place local where the man was living in Cuba for 30 years, and he brought his Cuban wife as a defector back to America. So they roll their own cigars.
Oh, wow.
So in theory, a Cuban touched this. I don't know if it's necessarily Cuban tobacco.
My buddy, he has a page on Instagram called at the Cigar Pursuit. And on this page, he posts a new cigar every single week, and it's doing quite well. And I'm learning a lot about the cigar industry. And if you're just starting your journey, then you should check it out as well. Again, it's at Cigar Pursuit. And I didn't know how big of a lore it really is.
Yeah, it's a big deal, dude.
A big deal, like spicy. I don't know if you're a spicy cigar guy or more of a sweet side.
I like it chocolate tones, but I'm just getting into the game. I don't know shit about this. I couldn't cut this cigar to save my life. I remember being given it yesterday, and I smoked a little bit, and I was super talkative, and I was like, oh, is this crack? Cool. And then I was like, you know what? TMZ boys would appreciate it if I lit this up.
It's badass.
It looks great, man.
You should have put that thing in from the beginning. Look at that, dude. I'm putting that in the thumbnail. That's our thumbnail right there. That's sweet. All right, EC3, thanks again for coming on, man. We'll see you later.
Thank you.